This video is the borrow and build strategy, real life, real investing. I was over the weekend with the family and we had a great time. And, it came to a point where we were talking about financial stuff, how we work so much, how we bust our butt, and nothing seems to work. And the more you earn, like the more you spend, etc. How people don't barely have any savings. And I started talking to them about the stock market, how I'm investing in the stock market because what they do is that they get paid, they spend the money, they're not aware of how or maybe how much or on what they are spending the money. And by doing those things, by not being aware of the money being spent, they are basically broke, in my opinion. So what I told them is that a while ago, I noticed that I was putting money into my portfolio. I was buying stocks, and randomly, like I would counter an issue, a problem in my life. It could be a car, my car broke down, something I didn't get paid on time at work, because sometimes that does happen. I didn't get paid on time, and I was struggling. So I noticed that once I activated margin in my Robinhood account, I noticed that I could use that money to buy more assets. And one day, as I was telling my family, my cousins, etc., that one day I needed around 200 bucks, and so for some odd reason, I thought about my Robinhood account, and that I wanted to sell, but somehow I said to myself, like, bro, you can borrow $200 from this without selling your portfolio, your stocks, because I'm a working class person. I struggle so much sometimes to save $100 here, $200 there. I have a family they gotta take care of, and life is not easy, and everything's so expensive. But I was like, I could use this money to buy to use it because I need the money now. So instead of selling, I borrowed the money and I paid whatever I owe. And when I had the money around the same desk few days later, I put the money back and my margin was basically back to zero. So I kept it that way. But then a few months later, I needed around $500, 500. And I remember the thing that I did with my margin that I used the 200 for my margin instead of selling, and I did the same thing. And when I got paid, my my margin was basically paid off. So when I when I understood that I could literally use my margin, the money that I have in my account, not to splurge, not to spend it on stupid things, but to kind of pay for my car insurance, for my telephone every time I go to the grocery. I swiped the card and I paid my card with my margins. Like once I got that, I was like, but I could literally put my basically my entire check into this. You buy stocks and use margin, and every week or every time I get paid, every time I get a bonus or whatever, just put the money in there because technically you got to use it. And I'm very frugal. I try to be, what's the word? Like, I try to be aware of where my money goes ever since I started investing. So when I was aware of that, and I've been aware of where my money goes every week, I noticed that even though I'm using margin, I'm putting my entire paycheck into my account, into my portfolio. Like my account keeps growing. And basically, when I told them that, they did not believe me, and I kind of I hate I not saying like showing people because I think I'm showing off or whatever, but they were so grateful that they saw that I was using margin to fulfill my lifestyle. I have a family, like I said. So this is what I do. I borrow and build. I borrow because I need to pay for food, groceries, go to the movies sometimes with my kids and my wife. Sometimes I have to go overseas or go to another state. And believe it or not, even though I do not have a lot of money into my margin, into my portfolio, like I'm able to literally like pay off my lifestyle with my investments. So this is what I do again. And if you're interested in this video, please let me know, like or subscribe. I do not know where this video is going because my family told me like, yo, you should teach this. You should tell people, this knowledge you have because we're taught that you go to school and you get a degree and you work for someone else and you get paid, whatever. But maybe that used to be true like a while ago, back in the days. But things are so darn expensive now that I think that those that's not working any longer, in my opinion. Everyone is in a different um living a different life than everyone else, but we all can relate that everything is so expensive, and many companies are laying people off. They're shipping our jobs overseas, and they're automating everything in our, like, even when you go to McDonald's, like you hardly see a cashier at McDonald's. Like they want you to order through the app or by the machines they have over there. So this is my first video. If you're interested, ask any questions and whatnot. Just let me know. I can answer as much as I can. Like I'm an individual, working class person. Again, I get paid. I deposit my check in here, and sometimes not entirely, but at least I'm doing 60 to 50% of my paycheck. Eventually, that's gonna go. I'm gonna put here my entire paycheck as of now because I still gotta pay my car insurance. I still gotta put car gas. I gotta pay for gas. I still gotta go of the groceries. So why not just buy assets with that money and eventually use margin? And over time, while your dividend increases, the more dividends you get, and your portfolio gets appreciation on top of it, then one day margin is gonna be meaningless. So thanks for watching. If you encountered this video, don't forget to share, subscribe, and like and ask questions, okay? Let me know if you want to know further. Thank you very much. So this is how I borrow and build and and this is my real life experience that I've been through. I could show you further if you're interested in this type of topic. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.